Hello and welcome back to Birth, Back to the Wild. This is Jess. I am your host. And so I wasn't planning on doing this podcast episode, but I had tried in 2 different locations to make a video on this particular subject, and Instagram and YouTube both edited me and censored it. So I'm going to try going this route and hopefully be able to get the whole thing uploaded without any censorship, or I can save it. I've had a very difficult time, so I really hope this works. The topic today I am getting into is toxic threshold. Now, the reason this comes up is because it's really at the depth, it's the core of why I have come into regenerative detox. The idea of detoxing, cellular detoxing. Now, I'm not talking the cleanses or products you can buy for a detox, like the clays and the charcoal and the baths and the salts and all that stuff, or like your teas even. I'm not talking about those quick cleanses, parasite cleanses. That's not what I'm talking about. It can be a part of it, but this is something about your body. This is very body-based work. It is about your body and anchoring into your body and where it's at and how it's speaking to you. And a lot of times we have gotten so conditioned and shut down in this world and disembodied that we don't even pay attention to the real messages our body is sending us. So many years ago, when I first got into holistic health, I read a book called The Green Cleanse. I don't remember the author, and I cannot find the book anywhere. I don't know where it is. But the whole concept of the book came from this idea of a toxic threshold. And this concept has stuck with me ever since. And it has deeply been a part of my journey into where I am now as a naturopathic practitioner, with cellular detox and clinical herbalism. So what is toxic threshold? Basically, it is the amount of exposure you can have on a daily basis that your body is able to naturally filter and detoxify and eliminate from the body. Now, we have a natural detoxification system, correct? A lot of people will push back on the idea of regenerative detox because they say, oh, well, our body naturally does that. That's the purpose of the liver. And well, yes, but what you don't consider is how our culture, the current world climate, for several generations now, has basically been designed to congest and poison your body to the point that your own detox system does not work. Either it's very slow or completely stagnant. We're talking the lymphatic system, which is what moves lymphatic fluids and energy throughout the body to be eliminated. The kidneys, which is prime in the filtration of toxic buildup, it filters out the waste and toxins and eliminates through urine. The gallbladder is also an important piece of that. And our intestinal tract to eliminate through the bowels. And when these things are not working properly, it begins to shut down your entire digestive, lymphatic, endocrine systems primarily, and then it backs up into your skeletal system, into your blood system, into your urinary tract, and it just progresses from there. And it gets worse and worse over time and will accumulate waste and fermentation, gassy air and like the gassy air in your system, which then starts to deteriorate your tissues. And then that's where you see all the breaking down of tissues and basically holes in your intestinal tract and your stomach and your esophagus and your lungs and your heart and your arteries. That's why this stuff is happening. It is chronic acidosis. Now, anybody who follows Dr. Morse, which is where I got certified as a detox specialist, knows what I'm talking about. They understand that terminology. Now, my work is not just based off of him. However, a good amount of it is, because I really love his work. Dr. Morse, Arnold Ehret, Dr. Sebi, all have very valuable work and contributions to the healing and wellness space. So we are now born more toxic and genetically weak than ever before. Children are being born with this heavy genetic stagnant weakness and basically stagnant lymph systems because of how toxic their mothers are. And their mothers are toxic because of how their mothers were. And it's carrying down over time. And no, health is not just genetic. Weaknesses are genetic. Your DNA is genetic, but your health is not genetic. You have a very powerful capacity to heal yourself. We have a self-regulating system. You are a self-regulating organism, an ecosystem, really, when you get down into the real basic pieces of your body, as an energetic system, beyond just the cells. We're pure energy. And most of our illnesses, we can point back to spiritual conflict, some sort of biological conflict in our life that starts to manifest and builds emotionally, mentally, and then physically. This is accumulated throughout our lives. In order to really dig in and find wellness, you have to start in the physical body and work backwards. So when you are seeing physical manifestations of symptoms that are diagnosed as a certain disease, I don't work with diseases, I work with symptoms. What are your symptoms? How are you feeling? What is happening in your body? What have you been doing? Like, what treatments have you been doing? Spiritually, how are you feeling? How are your emotions? Are you allowing your emotions? Are you suppressing yourself? Are you disembodied? Are you in escapism? Are you actually experiencing yourself? Why and why not? So when you come back to the toxic threshold, when you become so congested, your body will not be able to properly detoxify on a daily basis. And then that builds up over time, over 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Say, I am almost 40 this year. So I have done some deeper detox prior to now, but say I'm starting some deeper works now, this year. So consider 40 years of accumulation in my body that has not been able to properly detoxify. And then look at the blueprint of my body when I was born. One thing to point to is I have green eyes, and I was born with green eyes. This is significant because I have found how green eyes, in iridology, there is said to only be blue and brown. And I have found this to be true as much as I've seen so far. And as I've done more work with myself, clearing out mucus and lymph and moving my body, I'm seeing my eyes turn to blue. I have a true blue eye. And the reason it is green is because of the buildup and stagnation of lymphatic fluids that gives a yellowy color in the iris and makes green. And when you are born with a green eye, your mother has a green eye, and her parents, or one of her parents, I don't remember, maybe my grandma, had a green eye. We are Irish, German, Scottish, Norwegian, Swedish heritage. Irish are known for having very weak lymphatic systems. And it's not purely physical. A lot of this can be spiritual conflicts, has to do with war and famines that these cultures have experienced. And it manifests into a physical ailment, physical condition. So paying attention to that is super important. German New Medicine, I follow Melissa Sell, who is fabulous. I really, really, really adore the work of German New Medicine. I haven't fully grasped all of it and have been fully immersed in the concept, but I definitely think there is a lot to be learned in German. I used German New Medicine last summer when we had ringworm breaking out in my home. My middle son had it the worst of all. It was all over his body and big spots all through his scalp. He actually was losing hair, and it kind of was head to toe. Me and his two brothers only just had a couple spots each. Now, it still took quite a while to get rid of, a good couple months, 3 months probably plus, to really get it to stop spreading through us. Probably a good 3 months of him having it pretty bad. He was the main source for sure. But getting to the core of ringworm isn't just a skin condition. There's depth. There is a emotional depth to why it manifested in that manner. There was an initial conflict in the body that brought a symptom expression in that manner. For that one, it had to do with, I'd have to look it up now. I think it had to do with feeling powerless, speaking up for yourself. And at that same time, things were happening. He was having conflict in his father's home because he had a new girlfriend and moved in family, or her children. She had 3 children. And there was conflict going on in the home with the children. One of the boys in particular, my son, that middle son, and her boy. I think it's more resolved now. They seem to be better friends. But it got pretty bad for a long time. There was a lot of issues going on, and he would come home and tell me and kind of be distraught and not sure what to do. He didn't want to say too much because he kind of wanted to be his friend. Couldn't bring up much to his dad because his dad kind of brushed it off. So he was feeling very powerless in the situation. And yeah, that was just kind of my personal experience with that situation. So that is part of too why I left the nutrition industry. I used to say I was a I was a nutritionist, nutrition coach, all that. But I stopped marketing myself as a nutritionist or calling myself a nutritionist because it isn't just nutrition. Nutrition is really the science of food, and I am not in the science of food. I'm in the nature of the body, naturopathy, nature medicine, plants, embodiment. How is your body speaking to you? And that is where Seeds of Birth flourished from. And the concept came to me many years ago, and I didn't totally know what it was. Purify, awaken, and expand are the stages of the program. And I can help walk you through them. Or I'm going to probably start doing some more in-depth videos on how to do each one. And you can... I love providing information for people to do it on their own. That's part of the embodiment practice. not me telling you what you have to do to get well. It's providing insights and advice and information for you to anchor into your own body and return to the connection with yourself, your soul, your inner child, nature, and navigate your own wellness. But it can be difficult in the beginning. I mean, it can be difficult. It's really good to, I don't think healing really happens in isolation alone. It's really great to have someone help guide you, which is what I'm here for if anyone ever feels they want that extra guidance. So purify is the physical, purifying the body and clearing the vessel. And when that happens, you're able to clean out the stagnation, the shadows, the hidden energy, emotions, and physical obstructions in your body, to clean out your vessel and you're opening your energetic channels. Because as pure energy, our frequency is everything. The vibrational energy, vibrational waves of our body is where the wellness actually comes from. So if your energy is not flowing freely, which this is taught in Chinese medicine, qi or prana, in yoga, it's part of the yoga philosophy of qi and prana. All around the world, there's different names for the energy flow, but they understand the same concept of energy and meridians and chakras. And those energetic channels are prominent in your well-being. And when those energetic channels are severed or shut down, then you're not allowing that free flow of energy, which is life. The energy, the breath is life. The elimination channels all contribute to your life force. So purifying is purifying your body to open the vessel and allow a deeper or more expansive, a clear energy flow throughout your body. And then awaken is the awakening of your intuition. As you clear your vessel out, it's going to awaken a higher way of being. But it's not about being higher or more ascended. It is about dropping into your body. It is a groundedness and embodiment practice of getting into your body, experiencing through your body. That's what embodiment is. Experiencing through the body. That is where my movement practices come in. That is where the forest bathing comes in. Getting in nature, sitting with plants, learning to reconnect with your own intuitive inner guidance, tapping into your inner child. And that is what brings about your passions and your hobbies and what really lights you up. That's the awakening aspect. Expansion is expanding your wisdom, feeling grounded and embodied in yourself, and then how you walk through life in this very embodied state of sovereignty, having a strong self-governance and authority for your own life to help guide your children, for your family, for the world, for your community, how you can help support your own family as well as those around you, and the wisdom that you bring in by your connection with the divine. And usually this is the point where we start to step away from the use of books and courses and experts and gurus outside of us, and tapping more into that intuitive nudge, those knowings, those inner knowings, and that universal intelligence that we all have access to. As we clear the vessel and open that up, open our bodies up, we have access to that divine intelligence source, that free flow of energy that comes through us, through the crown of our head. We all have access to that divine knowledge. And that is where the expansion of wisdom comes from. Wisdom is through experience and the connection with divine and universal knowledge, the universal truth of creation. So that is really, I came in to talk about toxic threshold and got into the depths of what seeds of birth is, because they're all very linked and important pieces of understanding where authentic, embodied wellness comes from and how it serves us in motherhood in particular, because that is where I learned it and brought it most, is purifying the body for pregnancy. I was speaking about how children are born more toxic than ever now. We, as women, need to take responsibility for our own bodies and do purification practices before ever getting pregnant. Because if you're struggling to get pregnant, you're putting your baby in danger if you do anything to try to force a pregnancy with IVF or any products that try to get you pregnant artificially. And to clean out your body, reawaken your reproductive system, you should be able to get pregnant on your own. And then you're going to be more prone to hold the pregnancy. If you have a lot of miscarriages, your body isn't holding your pregnancy because your body isn't in a state of carrying and developing a baby. And that is a signal to your body's state of illness, essentially. A purification practice is going to clean out your vessels so that you can create the most nourishing environment for your baby to develop and come in to this world in a strong and embodied birth, because the mother is strong and embodied and sovereign, so that she speaks up in her birth experience and does not allow others to dictate how or when she births or the environment in which she births in. This is where more wild and radical home birth comes back. And I'm keying that as well, as I've gone through radical birth school, and I'm very adamant about the birth work of sovereign births. And then our babies are coming into this world with a very strong blueprint and a higher level frequency. And then we have created these beautiful little divine beings who are going to change the future. And that is the greatest gift that we can give to this planet. Thank you for being here. I love you all.